Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is a chart for the full moon, and it's literally just a day after the autumn equinox. This is the turning point of the year, one of four turning points, I have to say. But an equinox is equal day and night, and in the northern hemisphere, we're now going to be heading towards winter, so the days will become shorter. And we've had a glorious summer. So, a full moon always brings to light, that's the nature of the moon, the seed that was planted at the new moon. And here I'm using whole signs as the houses, and also I've put Libra into that first house using the colour wheel. So here it is, here's the Sun, and here's Mercury. Mercury joined the Sun on Friday. That was Friday the 21st. And this happens on a regular basis throughout the year. But it is like this, the Mercury meets the king, the Sun, in the throne room. That's one astrologer has named it such. So now Mercury will gradually, very slowly, but gradually get faster and faster, and it will be now an evening star. So Mercury as the messenger is always important, and now in Libra it's all about relationships. So the Sun in Libra, here it is in turn very strongly connected to the planet Venus. And Venus currently is in the sign of Scorpio, and every 18 months Venus goes retrograde. And sure enough, it will be going retrograde not in September but on October the 5th at just past 10 degrees of Scorpio. It's going to move backwards into its own sign, Venus's sign of Libra. It will then station and move forward again, and this dance Venus creates a dance in the sky, is a very beautiful pattern, full of balance. More of that later. So at this full moon, here's the moon in Aries. Always the moon, a full moon is always opposite the sign the Sun is in. And notice, in particular, is right next to Chiron. Now, Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer or the shaman, and it's retrograde. It's going to go backwards into Pisces for a final last fling, shall we say. Healing wounds is always the nature of Chiron, but also it awakens in the same way as Uranus does. Notice we have a very interesting set of patterns here. The one I'm going to point out first of all is the positive energy. This is the blue energy, and here it is. There's a sextile of the north node of the moon with the Sun and Mercury. A trine is occurring with the Sun and Mars, and then you go upwards again to join that full moon. It creates what is called a mystic rectangle. Wow. Now, Mars, the Sun and Mars, when they combine in a positive way, really are action fueled. And that is coming up, and it will actually be exact on Friday this week. Before then, however, there's always howevers in astrology. Here's the Sun at almost 2 degrees of Libra, and it's going to be increasing the tension with Saturn. Now, Saturn, Lord of Karma, is in its own sign of Capricorn. Therefore, of all the planets, it's the strongest at this time because it's in its own sign. The energy of Saturn is to be grounded, commitment, but also there is a strong emphasis on that word, on karma. So the tarot card that relates to Libra is a very important one. It's called Justice. And justice is all about balance. It's all about harmony. It's the scales of justice. So the scales of justice connect us also to the Egyptian myth, the Egyptian story of Osiris, who is weighing the souls before they enter the underworld. And it's the heart versus the feather. And with karma, I do believe we are constantly creating karma. All karma means is action and reaction. So we can make our future by our actions. And if we've been making some mistakes, now's the time to make new choices. That's the nature of these important turning points of the year. And those turning points are obviously the spring equinox, now the autumn equinox, the summer solstice, and the winter solstice. And they're known as cardinal signs in astrology, which means they take action. So there you have it. Venus is going to go retrograde, spending a long time in Scorpio and also in Libra, back into Libra. Mars is now moving forward, thank goodness, and also, very importantly, it's moving away from this, the south node of the moon. Now, there's a difference between interpretation of the south node, but one thing you can say is karmic, past lives. Mars has been joining that part of the cosmic picture off and on over 6 months. It's been a really long transit of Mars going retrograde. But certainly now it is starting to shift, and that's an important shift. So to sum up, this is about balance, balancing power, and that is very much the Venus, the feminine, and Mars, the masculine. Venus is not really happy in Scorpio. However, I am a Scorpio, and Scorpio is very much about going deep. It's the aspect of research, it's the underworld, being at home in the unconscious, but also very strong myths connected to Scorpio. So it's a Pluto realm, it's the underworld, buried treasure. There's lots to explore here. The energy of the sun, first of all, on Wednesday, or that square will occur on Wednesday. There's a lot going on, of course, in the world of politics at the moment. A lot of strain and stress and debate and decisions to be made. So Libra is about decisions. It's not very well known for being good at that because it's a sign of diplomacy. But I encourage you to use this important full moon to start to make those new choices and bring your life into balance. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com.